Oh, cool, we're live.
Oh, we're live. That went quicker than I thought. Hey guys, how is everybody? Welcome to Vibe Fridays. All right, so for anybody that was trying to wonder who the stranger is in our feed here, Mario decided to go for a new look and decided to like chop off his masculine mustache slash beard, and now it's very terrifying, but at the same time, I get it. So.
I
Uh,
got carded. I got carded yesterday at the bar. Like
I
the
bet you
bartender,
would.
I go every single day. The bartenders all know me, and they didn't recognize me to the point where I got carded. Like that's how that went.
That is absolutely hilarious. But as everybody's knows, we'd like to start cranking. So if you followed along, we were building a RAG kind of system that we were trying to do. And Mario was basically taking us through the entire process. So today, what we're going to do is continue on that. And again, just kind of recaps so everybody kind of follows while Mario gets ready. Is that the first initial one is we kind of started setting up the path where we can start uploading documents into the RAG system. We use Qdrant, Qdrant.
Yep,
I
huge right.
always say that wrong. To be the basic, kind of like storage area where we're going to store the RAG system. And then Mario was working a way to basically take all of our transcripts and basically boost them directly into Qdrant. So then later on, we can go ahead and call them. So that's kind of where we were stuck at. Just so everybody's fully aware. But again, happy to see everybody here. Try to follow along as always. This is going to be a pretty badass kind of example. So Mario, whenever you're ready, we are in Zoom, so you can go ahead and screen share all you like.
Go ahead. Let me move your window a little bit because your gigantic bald head is my
It's
screen. I'm
that's
bald too, though,
shiny today.
so it's okay. I'm like I got a peach
I
fuzz.
actually think it looks good, man. I know you like the caps, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, the my friend Haley says I look like an egg in a bun. So she's from England, and I didn't realize that egg in a bun, like if you actually take an egg and you put it in between a piece of bread, that's what my head looks like. And then
Sure
I ate
enough,
a
it
hard boiled
does. Don't you hate when people are right when things like that? They're like, "Oh yeah, it does." Darn it! Like,
egg. Yeah, I know, man. I was like, damn. All right, so we are in Apify. Let me get logged into Apify really quick. So we've got our YouTube channel scraper. We've got our actors in here. I am on now a paid version of Apify, which is awesome. So I've got in here just a recap, guys. We've got our testing. We're running an actor right here. So we are grabbing that actor from hard code. We're then getting the data set items. So that is grabbing the transcript, and then inevitably we are going to pipe that into our QDRINT database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this QDRINT database for the time being, and I'm going to go ahead and hit execute workflow. We're just going to rerun that actor really quick. So I'm going to go into my runs, and we've got our actor running. So we're just going to give that a second here. And that's going to pull in some data. And then we're going to do what's called pinning the data. So N8N is the only system currently that allows you to pin data to an execution. What that means is you're able to bind whatever output happened from that specific item. So it doesn't have to rerun. That's going to save you money and time in the long run. So we only need to run this once. So we'll just give that a second to run. How was your N8N trip? You know, you still up in New York?
No, I actually went down. So for everybody that doesn't know, yesterday I think 2 days ago actually, I went to the city. It was so NAN, the actual software we're using now, opened up an office in New York. They had a small event. I thought it was going to be an intimate event, and it ended up being a full blown out party. And I wasn't really in the partying mood, but apparently it was there. We listened to the CEO speak. We actually listened to a couple of experts in the field of NAN kind of talk about all the different things they were doing. And then we also started understanding what's in store and some of the new features that are coming out. Really cool. I sent it to Mario. I was kind of like sending Mario a little videos of like some of the releases. But the biggest important thing for the people that are new, NAN now, if you kind of like sign up to being part of like their community in Ecosphere, they are now having beginner sessions that are happening in multiple locations. So people that are brand new that are trying to figure out, they're actually going to give these programs, and they're going to have a very strong community base. They're really focusing on that. The second thing that they're doing is that they're also, um, making it for the people that are more advanced users. There's ways now to create what we call like sub agents. And basically, we can take a whole bunch of processes, and I'll show you one in what I'm talking about. One Mario is kind of going through this. And what it does is it actually creates little mini agents to make your processes even smoother. I don't know if you remember Mario sharing this or he shared it with me. Is I have a tendency of building very long or very overwhelming complex workflows just because I like everything in one shot. But they were actually advising us never to do that because it's always best to create little sub agents prior, which is
Yep.
what Mario's been preaching for like the last year. Um, but it's something that they're going to make easier just in case you have these really large setups, how you can like basically grab a couple of your agents and make a sub agent out of it, and it automatically does it for you. We'll try. It's already live, so we should be able to show you once it's there. Now, the
Yeah,
other
so
thing, yeah,
convert the node to a sub workflow.
yeah, which I thought was really cool. And now they also have an evaluation node where you can evaluate your workflow to see whether or not it's going to break down or not. I mean, it sounds kind of geeky right now, guys. You're like, this might be over some of your all's heads, but the whole point of it is like you don't have to worry about it. Just know for the power users, if you ever worry this thing breaking down, which by the way, this weekend, thank God I had Mario around, or the weekend prior, I was actually doing a live presentation and the workflow literally broke minutes before going on because of the load and because of the errors that were happening. So we had to like come up with a different way of going around it. But it was very ambitious what we were trying to do. Now, the other thing that's also for you guys to understand is that NEN is definitely on the forefront. I saw some pretty big heavy hitter companies being there that are now starting to take advantage of it. So you're talking about like very big corporate companies that are using NEN to create workflows. And a lot of people are using this with creating apps. So they'll basically build an app in the front end and have NEN run all the back end, which is brilliant.
Yep.
Saves on costs, does all kinds of wondrous things in the background, and it always presents it to the client. So I just thought it was really cool. Gabex, I want my agents to make my Engetic sub agent workflow that creates agents. Yeah, so the creating of agents parts, it sort of can't do that just yet, at least not to my understanding, right, Mario? Or can you create sub agents using that?
What do you mean when you say like create? Read me the question again.
Yeah, he said, I want agents to make my agent, Engetic sub agent, Engetic workflows that creates agents. So he wants
Yeah,
basically an agent that creates other agents.
you can do that. Haley Brown actually built out it using N8N. Actually has a we collectively have a prototype agentic builder for N8N. Now the problem is that it's still not the AIs still aren't fine-tuned well enough to build out agentic workflows because they don't contextually understand the nodes well enough. But we're actually working on fine-tuning a llama model specifically for building out N8N workflows. So that is on our list. We should have that done in a couple weeks. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, we have our data. So I'm going to right click and pin these pieces right here. So we've got our data set. We've got 10 items in our data set. We've got our description, our title, author, video URL, picture, and transcript. So we've got all of the different things that we want to see right there in the payload. So that is now pinned, so I don't have to rerun that. And then we have our HugeRent vector store. So let me grab the credential. I'm going to pause my screen share really quick and grab my API key for the what's it saying? The API key.
I don't know if you know or not, but you're still sharing. So
Yeah, what can you see currently?
yeah, I can't see your API keys, but just want to make sure you know you're still sharing.
Yeah, I just needed to make sure that you can't see my API keys.
The other thing to note is for anybody that kind of like came in late, we're using Amplify. Amplify like is again a scraping tool that's out there that can scrape audio, video, and a whole bunch of other things. A buddy of mine, one of my partners in another business, uh, Brian Bogart figured out Assembly. Assembly is basically the major transcript tool that all the bigger companies use. So we're now on a quest to see whether Assembly, because it's super cheap to transcribe. It's like 0.00017 for like 1 hour of transcripted videos, and apparently it is the best transcription tools that is basically models all the other ones. So we're very interested in getting that. I think Mario, for your Python tool that pulls the transcript, it uses Python, believe it or not. So I thought it was pretty cool. Now,
Oh, it's
again, just real quick, just to recap, we grabbed all the JSON files, as you can see here, and we're bringing them all in through the transcript tool node that we had. And we'll be able to now grab all this. So all he's doing is he's titling it and making sure that the transcript and the value goes in the right way.
Yeah, so you have different pieces in your vector database collection. So your collection is this YouTube channel right here. And you have different points in your collection. So points are chunks of information. But when we break down the transcript, we need to have the ability to correlate the relevant chunks with each other. And we do that through metadata, which is the essentially add on like context to the vector point. So you see here we have this metadata option. This isn't required. You can, technically speaking, just upload the transcript itself. But I prefer to use metadata. There's a lot of advantages to using metadata. So I'm just going to put in some metadata here really quick. This won't take me very long.
And why do we want to use the metadata? Remember, you and I had this conversation.
Yeah, so it gives you the ability to provide the AI with context for correlating different data points together and making sure that like if you reference one piece of a transcript in your because it breaks up the transcript into chunks, right? It's not a whole transcript that it loads. So it breaks up the transcript into chunks for easier retrieval. This allows it to search for a specific chunk, something in a chunk, and then find all of the other chunks associated with that one chunk so that it can have more context when the AI reads it. It's just better search practice, essentially. Hopefully that made sense. And cool. So we have all the relevant data in here. This is our document loader. So now we have the, we don't need a collection config. We have our embedding.
Can you go back to the embedding? Because I think that was a little confusing for people that don't know it, and it's like the first time looking at it. Like, I don't understand what large, small means. And I know that also it's very important that we know that because if we set it up the wrong way, nothing will preload into the chunks, right?
So if you go into your cluster information, it will give you the it will if it has certain values in here, which it doesn't the way that I set it up. So it's effectively irrelevant. You can use I prefer the embedding large model. It just processes faster. It's a little bit more expensive, but like when I say a little bit more expensive, I mean like a fraction of a penny more expensive. So embeddings are not that expensive. Don't ever use ADA 002. That's a legacy model. So use small or large, one of the two. For bigger data sets, use large. For smaller data sets, use small. Pretty self-explanatory. You don't need to set your dimensions typically, but if you do need to set your dimensions, they need to match the dimensions associated with your vector collection. So in this case, I don't have any dimensions set in here, which I may need to set some. So let's go ahead and test it and see what happens. Worst case is it doesn't work and we have to fix it.
Which is always good for you guys to see though, because like the troubleshooting piece of this, like we've shared this 1,000,001 times, is like always the hardest part. Is the troubleshooting. See, so something's giving back a 400 error. Doesn't like something.
Might be the special characters. We'll figure it out. So we've got a 400. Let's ask our AI assistant. I'm not subscribed to AI then. Let's take a look at it is in the YouTube channel. Let's take a look at our collection. Does not have any points in it. Areas.
And for anybody that doesn't know what we're doing as far as the Qdrant, remember this is the vector database that's going to be basically holding all this. And we went over this in the last 5 Fridays that we did of how to set this up. And then together we're going to basically be creating, kind of a longer video that will go on YouTube, how to create an NEN RAG database. So you guys get to see it firsthand. And notice what he's doing right now. He's going to ChatGPT to solve, because that would be, again, what we always tend to do. Sometimes I've been using Claude. Claude is definitely my favorite to go to. I just like the way it answers, and it's just like, I don't know. I just think it's a better coder. ChatGPT 5, though, I hear mixed reviews, man. I hear some people hate it. Some people love it. I hate it. At least I don't think it's as good as the 4 was for whatever reason. All right, so it's giving him different options. So he's going to go back in and try to see if that's what the case is.
Oh, I see.
Was it the fact that you didn't set the dimensions?
Yeah.
And he called it. He literally called it. So he did say, I probably need to go set the dimensions. So Ron asked a really good question. Why create a RAG database for something like this rather than a Netbook LM? Because I can't access it with a bot with Netbook LM. There's no way for me to go out and do that. Even if I do, it's going to be a little bit more complex. With the RAG database, remember, I can make it as big as I want, and I have 140 videos that we're really going to transcribe around, including any of the shorts and stuff. So that in itself is going to be pretty intense, right? So if I do, I put that all in Notebook LM, and believe it or not, Notebook LM is not going to be able to process all those videos. This is why we even have to put this into that because of that. But can you go over exactly what you're doing? Because we didn't include that in the first one. So can you actually start from scratch before you do that? Because this is definitely a little bit more advanced, and people are going to run into the same issue when they try to do this themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me get it working. And then I will expected structure that around is 23. So essentially what I'm doing, guys, is I'm really going through and testing different API calls using GPT. And I was called it ChatGTP. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm in this case, like looking up the API documentation and explaining to you how to use API documentation will be a little bit complicated. So what I'm doing instead is I am What I'm doing instead is I am leveraging ChatGPT to give me the API calls because it can read API documentation in and of itself. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to copy and paste this and go here. And I'm also going to look at the documentation really quick because I need to patch, update vectors, vectors diff config. That's not enough. Okay, so I have to delete the collection first. That's why. Now, if we go into our collections, let me go to our info tab. We have a size and distance. So everything else basically configures itself. There are N8N nodes for that make it a little bit easier to create, and I'm happy to help people create their first collections. Once you create your first collection, the rest is a lot easier. But there is an N8N node for Qdrant that allows you to actually create collections. So we're just going to go back into N8N right now. I need to set this to 1536. And now I should be able to run this and we'll test if it works. And it worked. So we'll let this run. It created 512 chunks. So we're going to go into our collection database. And we have 512 points. Each point a section of content with a title, description, video URL, and author. So you can put in whatever metadata you want in there. So this is a vector point. A really cool thing to be able to do is to visualize the vector points. So this is what it looks like in terms of the different content in a visual representation of the mathematics of its point in space. It's a very long way of saying, like, this is how data looks to a computer.
Yeah, that's what, isn't that wild, folks? That is literally how so a crazy thing that I don't know if anybody understands is like they're basically saying that, like, think of the stars in the universe when you look up. That's basically the way the computer's seeing the data. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's just able to find all these different points and connect them all. But it's doing that so it can store even more and an incredible amount of data in a very short amount. Well, not short, but like small amount of space. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can select different data points and see how they correlate to each other and their distance away from each other in mathematical space. It's one of the features I like about Qdrant. It's really pretty and gives you a lot of information. So, all right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into N8N. I'm going to rename this Qdrant example plus vector store plus chat. And what we are going to do next is we have, I'm going to go ahead and delete this input node because we've already grabbed all of Nuno's transcripts. And we now have our chat node. So we're going to add a tool call. That tool call is going to be the Qdrant vector store. So it's going to be the Vibe Fridays Qdrant database, retrieve documents from collection YouTube channel, retrieve up to 10 documents, include metadata, re-rank results. We are going to do this, utilize this search for transcript information based on so we have this AI agent. I'm just going to make this a little bit prettier. We want some chat memory. We're going to add some chat memory. This just gives it history that it knows information.
Meaning you could go back and forth with the conversation and it won't forget that you asked it the question in the first place. So if you don't understand something and please elaborate, or then that chat model will go as far as back as that.
I'm going to go ahead and use ChatGPT 4.1. And we can leave that alone. I'm going to pretty this up. So this little broom icon, guys, in the bottom left corner, this little tidy up icon. Use this very carefully because it can make your scenarios look a little bit wonky. But it's great for smaller scenarios just to move things around and make them a little bit easier to understand. I'm going to use a re-ranker. So go ahead and use this. Use this.
What's a re-ranker? Because again, we don't know. What's a re-ranker?
Yeah. So a re-ranker is going to basically reorder the documents based on relevance for the given query. So it's like a second search within a search. It's a little bit more of an advanced.
You have to get it only. There's only one place that offers it, which is Cohere. So you do have to create an account there in order to use it. So just be aware of that, and you do have to have an API key. But there is a whole setup. If you hit Open Docs, you can actually go in and kind of see it in there.
Yeah, so this is the great thing about N8N, guys, is that it's very, very easy to set stuff up because their documentation, they even have a chat with docs function, which works super well. So N8N is really designed to be more user-friendly progressively because they recognize that it was a little bit of a challenge for people. So let me just log into Cohere. We can also do it. Oh man, it's not going to let me log in because I'm using our email. We'll just do it without the re-ranker for now. All right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to chat with our agent. So we have in here, this is our chat input. We are going to put in a system message. You're a helpful assistant that can chat with a Qdrant database, vector database. The contents of All right, so I said you are a helpful assistant that can chat with a Qdrant vector database. The contents of that database are the transcripts and metadata associated with a YouTube star, Nuno Tavares, known as the automated marketer. Assist the person chatting to understand and answer their query, always making sure to use the information from the database. Cool. So now we can actually chat with our database. So we are going to open the chat and we're going to clear that execution. We are going to clear that conversation. So Nuno, we have in here how to create a course and memberships, best voice AI guide for high level, Top 5 voice AI secrets.
with actually our friend Mike, Mike Reimer on that one. And you guys see it on the right-hand side. You see how it's going through all of that? Pretty darn cool, right? And now it's searching. It's going to use all its relevant like re-ranker systems and all that, and it's going in there. So a couple of questions are: so you ideally want anytime you're setting up a RAG, you ideally want that anytime. Yeah, you do. You want re-ranker anytime you're setting up a RAG system, just because you can get better results. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Way smarter than mines. Every time I do mine, custom fields to make it easy scaling, harness your knowledge base, upgrade to the latest VoiAI model. Yeah, it was like the first step, first 2 tips. Master key prompting. Awesome. How you speak to the AI. Look at that. And if you guys look all the way out there, sources, and does that say, oh, I thought, I swear to, because I can't read. I thought it said, and your full video diva. I'm like, that is one thing I will refuse to be called a diva. It's like, let's not, let's not, let's not do that. But yeah, guys, so there you go. And we only uploaded 4, but remember the transcript thing that we're using for Amplify. I think what does it pull? Like the entire channel, right? Up to 1,000 for like $7 or something.
Yeah, it'll pull up to 1,000 for $7.
Yeah. Now we had a couple questions coming in. I think Wendy asked like, hey, and this is kind of off topic. So by the way, guys, we're done. This is now a bot that you can now access and have as a mini bot. Now, one of the questions that came in is like, is it possible to create basically an AI that will automatically create courses inside a high level? So
Yes.
meaning, okay, so do you mind kind of like giving us a little 5 second, I don't know, speed run?
Yeah, so high level has a oh man. High level has a native uh high level has a native API call for migrating and importing courses from third-party systems. And you can tell an AI the parameters of what you want to create. That would actually be a really cool topic for our next live writing, you know.
Yeah, that's what I told them. I told them we can do that next five bite. Now it's going to be the next one. We're going to automatically create a course based on an AI idea or an AI prompt. We'll put it into AI. We'll feed it. Once we feed that, it'll create the modules, and then it'll create different things. Obviously, probably not going to be able to do the video part of it, but it'll get us pretty far, at least with all the materials, maybe even some SOPs. And then can we actually create it inside the membership area, and can we load the lessons? That would be really, really cool.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah.
very cool.
So this is I'll pull it up actually really quick. If I go to a super useful place, guys, is marketplace.gohighlevel.com/docs. The marketplace team and dev team have done a killer job in getting all of this API calls out of Stoplight and into something that's more user friendly. So now you have you can ooh, new API calls. Yeah, baby. So you actually have a courses module right here that has an import courses function. And the import courses function allows you to specify title, description, image URL, categories, instructor details, all your subcategories, everything like that. So what you're doing in here is you are putting in, you expand all of this out. So this is your body of the API call right here. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to open up Sublime Text really quick. And just blow this up so everyone can see it. Okay, so you need your location ID, your user ID, which I can show you how to get. Then you get into creating the product. So we're going to fill out all of these different values. And all of these different values are what combine itself into a course. So yes, you can load the lessons. You can, and lessons are posts in this case. Course materials are like PDFs and audio files and videos. But you would do title and description. Then you have your different content types, but posts are lessons. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's going to be a little bit expensive because you're going to have to run multiple API calls to the AI, and you're going to have to do some things like that. But essentially, I could build a course creation system that you can chat with, and it creates courses based on a conversation with the user.
Sweet.
So I could tell it create a course on N8N and setting it up through DigitalOcean. It would ask me a series of questions and then spit out the course in high level. So yeah, that's doable.
Very, very cool. All right. Well, with that, guys, thank you again. We'll be doing that obviously on the next one. So you're definitely going to want to make sure that you guys jump on, and we'll see you next Friday. Thanks, everybody.